So today we're going to be talking about the married narcissist and his mistress. If you love this content, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell. This way, every time I upload a video, you'll be the first to know. So this is a really difficult topic, the idea that there are narcissists out there, they're cheating narcissists, and in this case, I am addressing an email that I got from a viewer asking me to discuss what it is to be married to a narcissist who has another woman in his life. And I thought long and hard about it because the reality is narcissists in general are insatiable when it comes to needing sources of narcissistic supply. And they live with this mask, and it can be so debilitating and so destabilizing to be the woman in the life of a narcissistic man who has complete control over her financially, who has oftentimes isolated her from friends and family, and who has created a situation in which the wife in the situation relies on him for everything. And you find yourself in this situation not knowing how it happened, falling in love really quick, often after a love bombing situation, after feeling idealized, feeling like you found your soulmate. Often you fall in love with someone who seems to have a lot of character, who seems intelligent, who has a great job, and who is financially independent. I mean, this guy is checking off all the boxes. Really, really sweet to your family, good to your kids if you have them. And you think, wow, this is great. It feels almost like a fairy tale. And that's because it is. But sometimes we don't wake up until the fairy tale, it's too late. We're in the middle of this, the ending of this fairy tale, full of cognitive dissonance, not knowing what we think, and feeling left alone and bewildered by the actions of the person that we loved, that we believed loved us. I wanted to talk about some of the things a man with high narcissistic traits, or someone who is actually a narcissist, a married narcissist, will do to catch a mistress or to keep a mistress active in his life. So a married narcissist usually has multiple online dating profiles. This is a big clue. So if you're married to a man who has been cheating on you, and especially if this man has resources, then you might want to investigate family computers. You might want to check histories, because there's a very high likelihood that this person has been seeking sources of narcissistic supply on various online dating sites. That's something to check out. The woman who wrote into me was flabbergasted and bewildered when she went into her husband's office computer, and sure enough, one day he got a little sloppy and he left his computer open, and she checked his history, and lo and behold, there were browsers open that were nestled behind other pages that all led to online dating profiles, and she was devastated. So this is something that is very common for men and women who are married and who are cheaters. They're looking for sources of narcissistic supply through various online dating sites. Going is that they will actually have multiple cell phones. So one cell phone is for the wife or the husband, and the second cell phone is for the mistress or for the people who are answering the online dating app profiles. A narcissistic man or a narcissistic female, especially like I said earlier, someone who has means, may have a company credit card. And what they're doing is they're hiding purchases. So it's not uncommon if you are the mistress of a narcissist and you have no idea what you really got yourself involved in, you might feel like you hit the lottery. This person is sending you lingerie. This person is sending you flowers. This person is sending you jewelry. It's on a company credit card, however, and the narcissist is separating these gift items from their spouse, and this is how he or she is hiding those gift items. And what this is doing is this is just hooking you. This is just causing you to trust them. This is causing you to stay invested in the relationship. Now, a married narcissist has less time than someone who is not married, because they have to go home. They have to deal with the kids. They have to show up for family events. They have to split their time with the holidays. So a narcissist who's married and who has a mistress, if you are that person, or if you have a friend who's involved in this type of relationship, chances are that you will report that the relationship was intense from day one. It was the look. It was the way he touched you. It was what he said to you. It was the way he said it. It was his body movements. Everything made you feel like this person wanted you. So right from the get-go, the relationship will be extremely intense, and that's because a married narcissist has less time than a single narcissist. And so they have to hook you quick. They have to get you on that fishing hook really, really quick. And they've got to get your cheek in that hook really, really quick, because they know they're going to have to split their time with you, and possibly even more than 2 women, 3, 4, 5 women in some cases. Keep in mind that this is something that a married narcissist will do very early on, and keep in mind why, because they have limited time. They're going to use gifts and words, even letters, as powerful points of persuasion. And so you meet someone, they're love bombing you, and it's great, and you feel like seen, and it's really intense, and you think that this is a fairy tale experience, and then you are starting to receive like letters and text messages and flowers and gifts. This is all part of their seduction, their power of persuasion, especially early on, because they know that if you're going to stick around, they have to feed you the gifts and the words and the intention and the affection. In other words, these gifts are in replacement of their time, because they have to be with their wife and they have to be with their family. They have soccer games to go to, dear one. Another thing that a married narcissist will do with a mistress is they will isolate the mistress, and they will also isolate the wife. So with the wife, they isolate the wife. The wife is now completely dependent upon them. And then they attempt to do the same thing with the mistress. I've had clients who have told me that their husband set up a mistress in the city, that they paid for the mistress's rent, they paid for the mistress's food, they paid for the mistress's kids' schooling. Why? So that the narcissist knows where the mistress is, and the narcissist can tap into this source of narcissistic supply whenever they want. Because that's what the narcissist wants. The narcissist wants to play the game for as long as the narcissist can play the game. Another thing that they'll do, a married narcissist with the mistress, is that they'll claim the wife is ruining his life. So narcissist is always the victim. And so how does a married narcissist convince a woman to stick with him? If she in fact knows that he's married, because some narcissists hide the fact that they're married. But specifically when we're talking about a married narcissist will paint himself as a victim. He may talk glowingly about his wife one day, but then turn it around and say that she's ruining my life. She won't let me go. She's obsessed with me. She's going to ruin me financially. I've heard this. My wife has cancer, stage 4. We don't know how long she has to live. And so I have to stick it out with her for the sake of the kids. It would destroy her for me to leave her now. And so the mistress ends up feeling sorry for the narcissist, right? Because he's coming off like some savior for his family. So this is another way that the narcissistic man keeps the mistress on the hook. So they tell their mistress, this is the key one. So they tell their mistress that the only reason, and many mistresses fall for this, they tell their mistress that the only reason that they can't be with them is because of some external force. The wife is going to ruin them financially, or the kids are in the middle of some crisis, and so the narcissist has no control over this crisis. Or the wife is going to destroy the narcissist's name. The wife has some dirt on the narcissist. Or there's some other reason. It could be some reason to do with work. But the idea is that a narcissist, to keep a mistress on the hook, will suggest to the mistress that the reason they can't be together is because of some outside influence that the narcissist can't control. Now what's happening is that the narcissist has the best of both worlds. We have to also recognize that a narcissist lacks empathy. A narcissist enjoys the game. So the narcissist doesn't see the mistress, nor do they see the wife as 3D autonomous human beings. So the mistress falls for the love bombing, and if the mistress knows that the narcissist is married, the narcissist is creating storylines to help or to secure the mistress as a source of narcissistic supply, through lying, through giving gifts, through offering them this idea that we would be together. We have this undying love. We have a special love. No one would understand our love. But the only reason I really can't be with you is because of this external situation that I can't manage. And the mistress ends up feeling sorry for the narcissist again. I have coached both the woman who has been cheated on, and I have coached the mistress. And it is incredible to me when I listen to both stories and I realize both relationships started off very similarly. The narcissist is a victim of someone. The narcissist love bombs, and the narcissist secures narcissistic supply by isolating both women. When the narcissist is with the mistress, the narcissist is sending the wife flowers. I miss you so much. When the narcissist is with the wife, he's sending the mistress flowers. I wish I could be with you. The kid has 103 fever. In one situation, I had a client who was on vacation with her husband, and the narcissist sent a ticket to the mistress to show up in the Caribbean, and this mistress was in a different hotel. I mean, this goes on. Do you think the narcissist cares about either person? No, not at all, because they lack empathy. They feel entitled. People in their lives are just objects, amusement, chess pieces on a chessboard. And so I hope that for anyone out there who has either been cheated on by a married narcissist with a mistress, and don't forget this happens with men too. Men are cheated on by female narcissists as well. And it can be a similar situation, especially in today's day and age where women are executives and women are traveling with business and women have business credit cards and women have the ability to have two phones and say, well, one phone is business and, oh, excuse me, I have to leave the dinner and I have to go get this phone call. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey, you'll have to take the kids home tonight. I have a crisis in Brazil somewhere. And she gets online, types in a ticket, buys herself a ticket and gets on an airplane. So this is happening in both situations. So I don't want to give anyone this idea that this only happens with men who attract mistresses in their life. That's just not the case. We have to see this from all angles. Narcissism is narcissism, and it's not bias. It affects both sexes. When we know that this is what happens in other people's lives, it helps us feel not so alone. It's almost like we can find our story in the story of someone else and we don't feel so crazy. So if you are a victim of a narcissistic man, and that's what this session is all about because of the viewer who wrote in, please know that you're not crazy. Please know that this is almost textbook what a narcissist will do. But the good news is that once you begin to understand and investigate the predictability, the persuasion that they use to lure you in, and you understand that this person used the same powers of persuasion to gain the mistress as a source of narcissistic supply, then you recognize it's not you, dear one. You recognize that you could not have been a better wife. You couldn't have been a better partner in bed. That has nothing to do with why a narcissist cheats, although a narcissist will use that against you to justify their actions and devalue you if and when you confront them. And the same thing with a mistress. If a mistress finally finds the courage to let go of this affection and this validation and the pseudo-security of this fairy tale relationship, which is not real, it's not based on reality, if and when the mistress finally finds the courage to break it off, she too will be devalued and she too will be discarded, very similarly to the wife. So what's the point? The point is knowledge is power. Recognizing that you're not alone. Recognizing that this is often textbook. And when you see that you're not alone and that this is textbook, then you can breathe a sigh of relief and you can get yourself out from underneath this narcissistic relationship. You can begin to move your life forward. You can begin to set boundaries. You can begin to recognize red flags in future relationships. And you can begin to rebuild yourself. Cognitive dissonance is one of the most devastating consequences of being in a narcissistic relationship. So remember, give yourself time. Don't jump into another relationship right away. Give yourself time to heal. And in time, your life will turn around. I hope this has been helpful. Namaste. Until next time. If you love this content, don't forget to check out the next video, and you can go to my website and take the codependency quiz.